Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. And it's a beautiful day for the Pirate Broadcast, and we are here with another pirate.
It looks like you've already made me cry. Sorry.
The amazing Raquel is in the house, rocking the pirate ship. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good. Rock is rocking the pirate ship. Like,
yes.
Cooler than that.
And there ain't even a storm happening.
Good morning, Angie. Oh, this is cool. That's right. I forget that we're like live everywhere.
Yeah, we are live everywhere, and we're streaming it. It's, you never know what's going to happen on these shows and who's going to show up at these point in time. So, yeah. Silver Fox Talks, good morning.
Good morning.
Washington's here. Wow.
Okay, is that Darlene? And that's what her, like, she has on YouTube? Or yeah, Darlene. Hey, girl.
She just got started on her stuff. And Nick from Canada. Good morning, pirates.
Yeah, Darlene had her first video yesterday ever on LinkedIn, and she was so cute because she, mentioned you, Brian Coleman, and myself, and that I always get so humbled when people are inspired and kind of encouraged to do something. You have inspired many, I know for sure, to do something. And in fact, Nancy, and you had that video the other day was fantastic. There she is, Wendy. Sorry.
I was laughing. Is Wendy in the house now?
Wendy's going to see that I'm wearing the exact same thing that I wore on our call last night. I have no shame. I'm still wearing the coffee till cocktail sweatshirt. Yes, I slept in this, and yes, I pretty much rolled out of bed. But hey, you know what? Keeping it real.
Hey, we're pirates. We don't care. It's like whatever.
Pirates power.
We're powered by pirates. So it's really fun to be here and catch up with you on a different level because we've been on different live streams together with Gabe and doing the 24-hour thing with Jason, and it's been a fun time. So.
Yeah, for sure. But like, I mean, I know you and I have had a call once before, just kind of like the get to know, right? But this is our first, just the two of us.
And it was so funny because I was thinking, it's like, we've already had a call before. And it's like, well, that wasn't a live call though.
Yeah, and it was like Saturday afternoon. I probably still looked like crap. I think I just come back from a walk, no makeup on, same thing where I was like, hey Russ, nice to meet you. Like this is
me. It's all good. It's all good. It's like I didn't even have any makeup on either, so it was okay.
You didn't do your hair.
I didn't do my hair. Is my part okay?
Yes. It's looking good.
Fantastic. I love it. I want to talk a little bit about what you're doing because you mentioned something that I think is really important. I want to get it out before we forget about it because we'll go down a rabbit hole and it's gonna be gone. But the YouTube channel you started, let's allow you the opportunity to share and talk about a little bit about what is going on with that YouTube channel. So
okay. So recently I started reading a book that one of my friends wrote called Productive Intuition. And it's all about listening to your intuition and your heart. And so after, I was reading it and I just realized that I've just been someone that always is kind of looking for others for validation, listening to others, what they have to say. I'm that type of person where I'll listen to someone that tells me like, this is how you should live your life, or this is what you should do. I'm like, oh, okay. Before. And so now I'm realizing like, no, I should dictate how I live my life and what I should do. So yes, I started my own business doing personal branding and everything, but at the same time, like that's not ultimately what I want to do in life and my ultimate passion. My ultimate passion is actually talking. We all know that I can talk to someone and anybody all day long. And I do love children. I've always loved kids. I'm, like a little child myself. And I just want to make a positive impact. And I'm one of those people where, the other day they asked me about my legacy. I'm like, I just want to make people feel good about themselves and walk away feeling happy after they have a conversation with me. I don't want them to walk away being like, oh man, that sucked. Like I feel horrible about myself. I want it to be the opposite.
Yeah.
I want to do that for children. And I really feel like our youth right now, just, already with social media, that's, an ordeal. And then you add in the pandemic, like I can't even imagine what they're going through. So I thought, you know what, how can I do something that utilizes me talking all the time and me speaking with kids? And I thought, you know what, I'm going to start a YouTube channel called Rock the Boat. And I'm just going to have conversations with our youth. And I want it to be super stripped, like unscripted, the opposite of like the TikToks and the Instagram reels and all of that. I want it to be where it's just a basic conversation. And I've already had a couple up. You know Mike Skiba?
I don't know that I do.
Okay, so he engages with a lot of our content on LinkedIn. And I already had 2 conversations with his son, who's 12, now 13, and then his sister, who's 5. And it's great because I don't have like any kind of questions that I'm going to ask them. I literally just press record. I tell them, hey, if after 5 minutes you're bored talking to me, like we're good. Or if you want to keep going, we can stop whenever you want to stop. Like I just want us to talk. And it's great because these kids have actually been like super engaging, very open about the activities they like, their hobbies. One of them, Natasha, she was very open about like how this pandemic's been affecting her and her friendships. And I walk away after these conversations, like really feeling like this is where I belong. And the fact that these kids want to come back and have conversations with me, I was like, okay, I'm doing what I was set out to do, make them feel empowered, make them feel heard, make them feel like they're worthy. And I just think that if we can do that for one kid, and then they feel empowered, like who knows what they'll keep doing. And so, I mean, as adults, we all have, right, that person that made us feel like that teacher or someone or a parent's friend or someone we just knew that believed in us. It's like we always remember somebody that had, it always takes is one person to believe in you to make an impact.
Well, and when you say kids, is it you're not necessarily focusing on anybody from 1 to 5 or 5 to 15, or is it 15 to 20? I
mean at this point probably most likely like 5 to 21. Obviously like there are kids that are younger than 5 that could probably be perfectly fine in front of on a Zoom and have a conversation. I'm okay with that. It's up to the parents, right? Because I'm sure that some parents would be like, yeah, talk to my 3-year-old. Or who's to say that they have their sibling with them? And I don't mind doing, once again, I had Jason and Finley on one of the conversations because she crashed his party and it was her birthday. And so we just started bantering about her birthday, and her parents were like, yeah, we'll sign a release. Like she can be on it. And it's just really cool because it could be all around the world. Like I have a call with a girl in Singapore on Monday night. And it's because I was on a podcast in Singapore several days ago. And she was like, hey, I know my daughter would love to do this. And I think her daughter might be 7 or 8. I think around that age. And she already was like, yeah, let's do it Monday. So how cool is that I already I'm going international already after a week.
Well, the beautiful thing about it, Raquel, is that it gives them a voice. It gives them an opportunity to share what they're feeling in a an unbiased, no judgment, no expectation, an outcome along with that. And you're so open to listen and so open to have a conversation and talk about things that I think it would be an amazing platform to watch and unfold. It's like stories from 2020, or it's all of these things that the kids are feeling right now, and there's a lot of pressure for kids to do things, and I think the social aspect is really the biggest impact that is taking place right now with the because if you don't have any social connection, how do you know how to react and respond and actually behave in circumstances,
especially with other adults? Because if you think about it, right now most of their only interaction is with their parents or their school teacher, right? And it's important for them to be able to know how to interact with other adults, and for adults to be able to also pay attention to our youth as well. Because I think what's happening too is, I'm a parent of a 19 and 16-year-old. So I know what it's like to have my child on their phone all freaking day long and, scrolling through TikTok. I get that. But at the same time, like, I'm not willing to just give up on them so easily, right? Like, I'm not going to be that parent that just because they're on their phone and they're ignoring me means that I'm just going to leave them alone. Like, no, I still bug my children. Like, my daughter, she knows there are moments where I'm like, put your freaking damn phone away and let's have a conversation. And usually what happens is she ends up opening up to me. We end up having like really good discussions where she's sharing certain things, but it's like, we have to make it a point to do it, because it's just so easy just to kind of be like, ugh, like that's too rough to try to, fight with my child to get her or him to pay attention to me. It's like, no, do it.
Yeah.
Put in the effort. Like, believe me, you'll be surprised. When
I really, in fact, I was just having this conversation with my my mother yesterday, and when she grew up, the in the farming community, and my dad especially, he grew up in the Depression, and one of the most heartbreaking statements he had was that he didn't feel like his father loved him, and one of the things that reflects on that is the fact that they had 13 kids, and and my dad probably wasn't the most well-behaved child, or he was probably a little rebellious at times, knowing my dad. And so parents really didn't know how to behave or act or run. And like when I was growing up, I was one of those kids that I could go out and play until it was dark, until the streetlights came on. And nowadays it's a completely different attitude. And now kids are, it's like a lot of parents are saying, I don't want you to go anywhere. Here's you got soccer, then you got gym, and you got all of these activities lined up back to back. And I think there's a lot of things that we're skipping over when it comes to hearing what the kids are feeling. And also, it's not necessarily that we need to react and respond to everything they're feeling, like the burst out loud of, I want some cereal in Walmart or whatever it happens to be. but it's also just having an open conversation and a dialogue on their level, I think, is really important and healthy. And I think I saw Nancy saying something like, giving kids a voice is huge. So
yeah, it really is. And I'm finding, not that I didn't know this, but kids are really smart.
Kids are really smart.
So smart. And it's not that like I said, I didn't know. It's like you just kind of forget, because my kids are 19 and 16. So it's a different level right now that I'm dealing with. So to talk to 12-year-olds and younger kids, it's really nice to kind of remind myself. But I think all adults need to be reminded of that, right? Like, I think we're so quick to kind of stereotype kids, just like with millennials, like, they get such a bad rap, right? But not all millennials are self-entitled and, obnoxious people.
Right.
And it's the same thing with our kids. There's still a lot of kids that are being raised the right way. Like Mike's son he was in Natasha, the kid, so respectful, so lovely, smart, like, and so you just know that they're good kids and they're going to do good things. And so it gives me hope too, because the way they see the world right now. Even Natasha, she was so funny, because we were talking about the virus, right? And she's like, I don't know how it got so political. How did a virus get political? I said, girlfriend, I hear you on that one. But the fact that she's fully aware at 12 years old that we've gotten very political over everything, I was like, well, she's at least being very perceptive and kind of in tune with what's happening. So she's going to be someone that if she didn't like it, then I told her, I'm like, then you're going to be the one to change it. I said, how cool is that, right? Like, you can do something to make a difference so that something like that doesn't happen in the future, or, all of that. And so I'm loving it. And I would love to see kind of where it goes, because I think a lot of other kids could go on there and see other kids I'm talking to, and not only that, parents to get on there and kind of get an idea of what these kids are feeling.
It reminds me of Sam Pedroni. Sam PJ is a friend of mine that is out of Seattle, and his son found some old birthday money, and he was like so anxious to save it, or not save it, but spend it on Amazon. And his dad PJ said, Sam, why don't you see if you can earn a little bit more and get something, something more impressive by your birthday? He goes, if you raise some money, I'll match it by your birthday. So Sam goes, okay, all right, I'll do this. And so he got an old lemonade stand that his sister had. He took it out on the street, and he said, and then he put a sign out on it that said life advice.
Oh.
And then PJ's friends started paying him, and it was $1. You could take advice, and Sam would give advice to people. And then the news came on, and he got lots of publicity, and all of a sudden PJ's going, I'm gonna crack out my wallet, man. And it was so cute. It was so, it was so heartwarming.
Yeah.
And he had people that have a chair, and they'd sit down on the street, and it was like, so what would you like to talk about? What kind of advice do you need? And it's just hilarious to, but that's the beauty of where we are. Our kids are our future, and it has to take place. This conversation has to take place some way. So I applaud you for taking the initiative to go out and
Thank you.
To get it started.
And I'll be honest, because obviously as adults, when we do these podcasts and these lives, it's self-promotion. It's, we're talking about ourselves, and kids, they're not like that. They don't think that way at that age. So it's like when I talk to them, we're talking about the most random stuff, Star Wars, video games, basketball. And I love it because every conversation is different. So selfishly, it's great too, because you just never know what you're going to talk about. And so I know I'll never get bored. And that's kind of like exciting, the unknown of, because once again, it's like not scripted. It's whatever they want to talk about. And so that was another kind of aspect to it, where I didn't want to talk to an adult and have them just kind of talk about themselves.
Yeah.
Yet here I'm talking about myself.
I know, it's so lovely. Enough about me. What do you like about me?
Exactly, right? So what do you
buy my stuff?
Yeah.
It's like I got this great program. It's like, so this is beautiful, and I just want to recognize some of the amazing pirates in the community here. Angie's here. Good morning, pirates. Silver Fox, Darlene, thank you so much for being here. Washington, wow. Like I said, Nick
wow.
I don't know. Wow could be good. It could be bad. I'm not sure how to interpret
that. Wow could be bad too.
Yeah. It's like, wow.
Yeah, well, who is this crazy person?
Darlene's awesome. Angie, love you from Wisconsin.
Oh,
Wendy, we got to talk about Wendy.
Seattle. I'm so honored that she jumped on.
I hope your parents are doing well. I hope your dad's doing okay.
Yeah.
Good morning. Rock the pirate ship with Admiral. I love these two. So
I love that.
We love you too. You both are amazing.
Thank you for you.
And thank you so much. Just the two of us in the world.
Oh yeah, because I was singing just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
I wish you could, Darlene. You are.
I don't know. Yeah, I was going to say.
You
I don't know.
Have to wish you are like that. You are like that. If you are, you just. You are. You are. You have permission. You're good.
There you go. Oh,
hey, Wendy.
He's a funny one.
Awesome to be here. It's just so fun. This is what I enjoy is just being able to. It's not about me. It's not about me. So, conversation is like oxygen to my closest people. The vulnerability factor is so empowering.
Yeah. But let me tell you, I wasn't vulnerable for a very long time. It was just recently that I realized that vulnerability is a superpower. It's actually an amazing thing when, most of us grew up thinking, oh, I can't be vulnerable. That's a weakness. Or, you know, and I don't want to seem weak. And especially as women, I was having this conversation with someone the other day about women and how we want to put up this front that we're just hardcore. We can multitask. We're super women. We can, you know, be a parent and we can work and we can do all this. But there are moments where we don't feel like we can do that. But it's like we don't want to share that because God forbid that someone looks at, you know, looks at me like, oh, she can't handle it, right? Like we want to feel like we can handle everything, and we can't all the time.
Well, I would argue that Raquel, is that it's not that you can't handle it. It's that what we try to do is handle it alone. And I don't think that's a healthy way to look at it. I think we all need, and you know, I've been through some challenging moments in my life. And when you have someone in your life that you know you can actually just vent to and not be judged, not be measured, not be criticized for your inability to do everything perfect at the moment, and just allow yourself to be yourself and feel what you're feeling. I think that's a huge empowering moment, and being vulnerable and having someone capture that and help you through that. And way too many people attempt to say, I'm going to just do it on my own. I don't need help with this. I can power through. I'm just going to power through this. And I think that there's, society and communities need to really wrap their head around the fact that mental health is a serious challenge right now, and people need to have support. And that's the theme of Kindness is Cool and Smiles Are Free. It's a true feeling. Do you realize that I heard a statistic? I don't know, the news is the news. I don't know facts, but there are more people dying of suicide in Japan than COVID.
Yeah, I heard someone told me that. I think just yesterday, the suicide rate has gone up like 600% or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
What are they equating it to? Is it the solitude? Is it because they don't feel like they have purpose? Because remember, the Japanese, they're a very different culture than ours. Sure. So I'm curious, like, what maybe is propelling that?
Well, it's a symptom of something that's taking place in society. And I, after having lost my son to suicide, the question in my mind is always, number one, what was the feeling what was the circumstance of feelings and emotions? Because I don't think it's just one thing. I think it's several things that build up. And when you're unable to release those feelings and place them somewhere or do something with them, it just becomes intolerant, and just you just can't do anything with it.
Well, and so overwhelming, and then you feel like it's so overwhelming, and you literally feel like it's all on top of you and you just can't get out. And so you're like, well, at this point, how am I going to get out? You just don't see any hope, because obviously, being that I have been in that place of where I gave up, it's hard when you really feel like there's no other option.
Yeah. And I think society as a whole, and it's this trend of saying, hey, be a man, just tighten up your bootstraps, and or hey, you're power woman, you got the job, you got the kids, you got the household, you got the car, the family, cats and dogs.
You've got so much, like,
just suck it up, Rock. You can do it.
Like, you're so lucky. Like, why? How? And I think that's another thing too, is that, we can have all these things in the world, and from the outside looking in, it could look amazing. But once again, like, if you don't feel worthy or deserving or loved, it doesn't matter what's going on around you. I mean, I grew up in a home where everyone thought I was perfect. And, I was at UCLA, and I was in a sorority, and I was friends with everyone, and this and that. And so people could be like, how in the freaking world did you get to the place to where you were so depressed that you try to kill yourself? I'm like, oh, let me tell you, like, it wasn't overnight. It was, once again, how I felt. And it was a lot of circumstances that made me get to a place where I felt like I just wasn't worthy, and that I just felt like I was a burden to other people. And that's an awful place to be, to feel like you're a burden to the rest of the world. So might as well, spare them.
The same thing. The opposite is true. I had the job, I had the house, I had the kids, I had the wife, I had the property, I had the, idyllic lifestyle. And the only thing I was thinking about every day on the way to work was, if I just pulled in front of the semi, I wouldn't have to deal with this. So, and when you get to that point, you're thinking, how do I shift my mindset and my attitude to be able to do this? So going back to the kids and having a voice and pulling that reaction, that reality out of the conversation, and allow people to think that maybe there is a different way of being. Maybe community is more important than people realize. Maybe the connection in the conversations that we have take place because that's an outlet for our sanity.
Yeah. And we're learning a lot with this pandemic, a lot. And I know that a lot of us are learning a lot about ourselves. I am learning so much. Here I thought, I'm 45. Before all of this hit, I thought I pretty much, not that I was at the end of the road of like growth in any way, but I thought, okay, I know a lot about myself. Like, what more could I learn? And holy smokes, like in the last 7 months, wow, have I learned so much more. And it just goes to show you that we are just a work in process forever and ever.
Yeah. Never thought I'd hear those words from Russ to Raquel.
I love that.
It was in love. I said it with love, it's like, you got this. You got this. So.
Yeah, oh my gosh. But that's the thing too, is like, you can talk about these things, be serious, but then suddenly start laughing, and the laughter part of it, like for me, is so important. And that's why I do try to make others laugh, and I try to make my kids laugh, because I think a lot of children too kind of forget to laugh, especially teenagers sometimes. So the other day when my son was home from college, he was playing video games, and I just sat on a beanbag next to him, and he was like yelling into his little speaker thing with his other friends, and I'm just sitting there, and he had his bare feet on the table, and I kept getting up and like tickling his feet, and he kept like laughing. He's like, mom, and he was obviously like annoyed, but at the same time, like you could tell that he really like enjoyed laughing in that moment. And so I kept doing it, because I knew that psychologically, like just him laughing in that moment is going to help him release some endorphins and just kind of help his brain a little bit. And so those are the little things too that I try to recognize and try to do. And because it's little things like that, like you said, your mindset. And so for me, my mindset is so important nowadays. That's why I do a lot of the shit that I do, because it's self-care.
And being playful and actually paying attention. Laughter is the best medicine, it really is. And when you can laugh about your life and everything else, don't be so serious. Just be yourself. And because think of it this way, when you're attempting to be something for someone else and you're being something else, it's like an actor going to work. They get paid big bucks to be someone else. That takes a lot of energy and effort. So if you could just be okay with who you are in what you're doing, it's just so much more relaxing. And you don't have to put up any facade. You don't have to put up any, playtime, and play with yourself. Have fun. Go out and do something that you enjoy. And it's just, learn how to take care of self-care, understand, yourself, who you are, and what you're doing. So I applaud you and support you any way possible.
Thank you. Yeah. And it's great, because like you were just saying before we got on, and Nancy's on. So Nancy, he was talking about how he just loved our video together and us laughing and our bloopers. Yeah. That's another thing too, is just having those type of moments with your friends and being able to just laugh and be stupid. And it's funny, because Nancy and I know she and I have been watching that video over and over and over again, because it just doesn't get old. And And it's just amazing how just a simple, 1.5 minute video of us just laughing and not being able to get our shit together to do an actual video. That it's funny how it like has fulfilled me so much.
It's the best part of the video.
And I don't think people realize like we can all have that, right? Just phone a friend or do a Zoom call and just be goofy and let loose and just talk about anything and everything. And we just don't have to be so serious all the time.
So what's the YouTube channel? Where do people find your YouTube channel, and how do people help you in pursuing?
Yeah. All right. So go over to YouTube, and it's Rock the Boat, RAQ, and then the boat. And so you'll find it. I think I have like 20 subscribers. Woo woo. So I could use some more.
Go subscribe after this show. Run over there.
And she didn't even know if she did it correctly. She's 72, and she's like, I'm pretty sure I subscribed to your channel. I was like, I'm sure you did. But yeah, if you can go over there, I already have 3 videos up, so you can get an idea of what is that I'm doing, because I do need as many children. I know this sounds awful, but I need your kids. If you're a parent out there with a child,
random phone call. Yes, this isn't Social Security. This is rock. I'm trying to rock your boat. Do you have any children?
Children. I know.
All children, articulate, smart.
Right? Yeah. They're good on camera.
They're good on camera.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. So if you have children that you're willing to let them have a conversation with me and have it filmed and on social media, because I do have release forms that I have people fill out, because I do want to repurpose it. Like I have been putting it on LinkedIn, Facebook, and I want to eventually do little snippets of it and throw it over on TikTok to drive TikTok traffic over to YouTube, because we all know YouTube channels, it's a different beast than LinkedIn and those other social media platforms. So I'm learning, but I'm trying to do it, and here we go. I'm trying to do it all on my own. Well, I'm trying to do what I can right now, because
face palm.
Right? Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, 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 wah. Well, you can do it all. You can do it all.
I'm trying to do as much.
You make me a sandwich while you're at it.
Yeah, no, I just don't have the money to pay someone to manage it right now. At some point, I would like to be able to have like affiliates and sponsors.
You can have a team.
Yes. And then I can start kind of putting some money into it. But for now, I have like zero money.
Call up Fisher Price and say, I got a kids show. I'm going to put this. I need a sponsor.
Right?
You're not going to the conferences. You're not going to the expo. You're not going to the trade shows. Throw me some, throw 100,000 off my way, and I'll just start.
100,000. I'm thinking like 1,000.
Go big.
I know, right? Go big, go home. Yeah, that's the thing, is like I do think that there's a good potential too for those type of companies to want to support.
Yeah.
So that would be great. Yeah. So I'm just trying to figure it all out. Like, just like we tell people, just do it. Like with Darlene, just do the video, just do the damn thing. So that's the same thing with this YouTube channel. I don't want to overthink it before I did it. I was like, let me just do it. Like, I'll just throw up the videos. I'll figure it out as I go along. I didn't want to focus on having it look a certain way or be perfect before I do it, because then I would never do it.
See, there's two circles of momentum. One is you start something that you don't know how to finish, and then you learn along the way, and then you continue to learn and make progress. The other circle is, I need to figure this out. I can't launch until I figure this out. And then I got stuck, and then I procrastinate, and then I get stuck some more because I can't figure it out, because I don't know what to do next. So pick your circle.
Speed up in that circle. Like that was the circle I used to freaking, hamster with. Like not anymore.
Russ, did you notice there's a typo on that post? It's like, no, I didn't. It's like,
I do get people correcting my grammar and my spelling, and I appreciate it. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I mean, and I'll go back and I'll edit it just once again, like in appreciation and respect that they told me. Yeah. But it is interesting how there are some people out there. I mean, I think I might have done that before to someone and been like, hey, by the way,
I love being told. Don't get it wrong. I'm not intentionally or maliciously putting out bad content.
I don't think anyone does it maliciously.
However, imperfect progress is better than perfect static doing nothing. Yeah.
No, I agree. But that's something that I've learned because I was a perfectionist. I had a little bit of OCD still, but I was that person that thought that everything had to be perfect.
Yeah.
I thought that life was supposed to be easy. I don't know why I thought that, but for whatever reason I thought that. So when it wasn't easy, I thought, crap, I'm not doing life.
Okay, I want you to reflect on something. I want you to reflect on something and tell me something honestly. Think back on the most challenging moments of your life and what the outcome of that was. And I have to believe that most of us, if not all of us, actually resulted in the most challenging moments resulted in the biggest challenging and changes and progress that we've made in our lives.
Absolutely, because some of the biggest challenges were the depression.
Yeah.
And then another one was divorce.
Yeah.
And I have another challenge, and that's something that I have yet to share to the world. Like I still have some things that my story, my journey that I haven't shared yet because I just, once again, a lot of it's out of respect for my family and my kids. But those are the ones that have had the most growth and just like mentor Julian Sato, he always says, he's like, turn your struggles into your strengths.
Yeah.
And I finally realized that. So then when I have children speak of like their struggles or just even adults, I'm like, just think about like, that's going to be your strength at one day. Like that's going to be your story. Like who knew that my story would be mental health awareness? Like, cause I try to hide it for so many years because of so much shame and guilt behind it. And so for me to think that like, this is how I'm connecting with the world is through sharing my story of depression and suicide. Like never in my right mind did I ever think that was going to be something that I was ever going to like talk about. And look,
failure is the fuel of your future.
Ooh, I like that. Failure. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah.
I will give you credit if I ever write it. Well, so failure is the
fuel for your future.
That's why I have to write it because I'm getting at that age.
Yeah. Well, I have to give a shout out to Tracy, our producer, the producer of the show, because we're over time and I could talk all day long and engage in this kind of conversation because I think it's not only important, it's absolutely necessary that we do this. And I thank you so much, all the pirates. RJ is in the house. Nancy, thank you so much for being here.
Great. It's like a community and they got on to support. And that's like means the world. That's what's so freaking cool about all of this.
Absolutely. And Wendy, Angie, thank you so much. I love all of you. I love the pirate community. And I'm okay saying that, it's like, because, I'm just me. I'm just me hanging out here, having a conversation with.
To be.
So Rock, get those boots, tie those boots up, get your shit together.
Suck it up.
Suck it up.
Suck it up and go save the world. Okay.
Yeah. Go feed the world. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. All the just gratitude and appreciation, and thank you. I know that kindness is cool, smiles are free, and you enjoy the day. And go join Raquel's YouTube channel. And while you're over on YouTube, sign up, subscribe to my YouTube channel.
From this pirate ship to rock the boat. See, from a ship to a boat.
Yes.
I'm downgrading a little bit from the ship. Just to a boat.
Well, that's how you have to get to the ship,
Yeah, baby steps, right?
Baby steps. All right. Happy day. Love you. Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please
please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.